Hey, Sales Beast listeners. Today we're here with Brian Ellis from the Brian Ellis sales team. We're really excited to be talking with him. He's out of Kitchener, Ontario, really big on social media. So we're going to be learning some stuff about him, his business, and what he's doing throughout this year that's helped him grow. So Brian, thanks so much for joining us. We're excited to talk with you today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on.
All right. So the first thing that we ask all of our guests is just talk to us about your business. We like to hear the numbers. Where are you at? What kind of clients do you like to work with? Talk to us about your business.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in real estate for 9 years now. Started with Keller Williams, and I'm still at Keller Williams here, Keller Williams Golden Triangle in Kitchener, and it's been a fun process just growing my business. For the past 3 or 4 years, I've kind of kept it at a certain level, which is about 50 sales a year. And we can talk more about this, but a lot of the things I do are kind of non-traditional. I'm not your average agent, and I know there's not a lot of average agents out there, but I do things a little bit differently. For me, it's not about, maybe in Keller Williams, we would say for me, maybe it's not about following the model. There's things that I have done, but for me, it's just about kind of having an amazing life, loving what I do, and helping people. And so I guess that's kind of me in a nutshell. Family man, two daughters, my baby girls, I call them, though they're 6 and 4 now. But
nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. So a lot of my clients are actually families as well. A lot of busy families I work with, which is good. They're not wasting time. They got things to do.
Yeah. So these 50 transactions you're doing a year, are you doing them on your own, or do you have a team?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I'm doing them mainly on my own. Sometimes I'll send referrals, even if, commonly what I do is if I have I don't take, sign calls, as we call them, or leads off of realtor.ca or whatever. I'll typically forward them to other agents. And then and included in that 50 deals, like I just did a transaction with an agent in North Bay. So I include, those kind of referral deals as well in the 50. But yeah, so mainly on my own, probably out of the 50, maybe, it's usually kind of no more than 3 to 5 or kind of from those other sources. Every year is different, but just as an approximate, right? So.
Okay. And do you have any support team around you? I know I've done 50 deals before in a year, and it's insane. When I did it, I had around me providing me with a ton of support. Do you have an admin? Do you have anyone helping, or are you one man?
Yeah. So I have an assistant, and once again, right, it's kind of a non-traditional assistant. So he's kind of like my personal assistant. So, just whatever I have on the go, like, yeah, he'll do paperwork, but if there's things that I can leverage, picking up something at the store, whatever, like, he's rocking and rolling with me. He'll do the measurements at the house so I can focus on, doing what I do best. Things like that. And he's going to get his real estate license too. He's taking the courses right now just so he can even take it to the next level as a licensed assistant. But one of the keys really for me is, like, I'm working with people that I know, and I trust. So these are people that it's just such a natural fit. It's kind of funny, just because sometimes I'll do 50 deals a year, and it's weird. Like I might feel like, okay, I didn't, like it's not me falling down at the finish line by any means. Like, not that it was easy, but it kind of feels like it was easy, but also with a passion. So it's hard to differentiate, right? Like, obviously I work a lot, but I'm having fun, and I've just built it to where, I got no complaints, right? As long as we're still rocking and socking, that supports, everything else, and I'm happy. So it's interesting.
Love it. I gotta ask you, that 50 deals for one person, that's a huge number, especially where you're doing it consistently year over year. Where do these 50 people come from? Are you from Kitchener and have you grown up in Kitchener originally?
Yeah, so I moved to Kitchener 10 years ago, and I knew no one. So I had a great aunt and uncle here, but and I did sell their house, but they weren't looking to move a super whole lot. But not from Kitchener. These people I started door knocking, so I got my first listing from door knocking. Met from that listing, met someone from a sign call, sold their house, helped them buy a house. Door knocking was kind of my in. And also too, like Anna mentions, I'm big on social media. Social media is my thing for sure. So as soon as I got my real estate license, as soon as I was in the process of getting it, I realized, hey, you know what? Once I have my real estate license, what matters is doing business, selling homes. You need to have the people, you need to have the clients. Just like any business. If you don't have the people, if you don't have the business, you're out of business. So I was bringing people along my journey, kind of in a rookie 101 way, where I'm like, hey, everyone, I'm getting my real estate license. I'm doing my first course. Hey, everyone, I passed my first course. I got a 90, like, you know what I mean? So people are kind of in it for the journey, and it's kind of fun and it's exciting. And then actually my first deal, which obviously any agent who does their first deal, they're so grateful. But I got my first deal. It was a referral from, one of my friends on Facebook. I went to high school with them, and they referred to me one of their friends that was moving to Kitchener. So I was so grateful, right, for that first deal. I had like no clue what I was doing, basically, right? Just totally starting from scratch as a new agent. But it was, so from a referral on social media. And most of my business now comes from past clients, referrals, and also I do a lot of business. I'm about attracting. I don't what I call, and sometimes I use maybe harsh words, but I don't like harass people. Like I'm not out there bugging people, as I call it. And maybe sometimes I feel like some of the words I use are maybe extreme, but I'm a salesperson. So I'll say to my wife, hey, do you want to watch this movie? Like it's long, it's boring, it's dumb, or this amazing movie, like I love it, it's so exciting. Like, which one do you want? Right. But anyways, so what was I saying? I'm just having too much fun here, Mike.
You don't do what I do and pester people and bug them all day.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And you got to do it too, right? Like everyone's at a different stage. So like you got to do those things but I'm at a level where now I'm attracting people. So I'm putting it out there on social media. So it's fun, it's exciting, it's attracting like-minded people where there's an amazing fit. And that's kind of like this like sweet spot, as I would say, to be operating from. But
that's something that has to be earned. You've been in the business 9 years. I've been in it 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Similar story. I moved to Hamilton. I didn't know a soul in the city. My only option was to bang on doors or phone people. But slowly over time, the ratio of people that you're so-called bugging to people that you're attracting becomes a lot. I think you have to bug people in the beginning, or lead generate, whatever you want to call it, until you can point where you are today, where you start attracting people. Yeah. You don't know anyone, there's no one to attract.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. And also too, like now 9 years, I'm this, this veteran where, just like a cop, he's all harsh and, so it's like, true, like mindset is so important. So I say bugging, but truly, just for anyone listening, it's like, do not be discouraged. Like it's sink or swim. So cold call, door knock, you got to do whatever you got to do. I think really the thing is providing value, right? So
building relationships, like the same way that you're saying, like you didn't know anyone, so you obviously had to build relationships, and now all your business is coming from past clients and referrals because you can build those great relationships.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Well, and there's that quote, right, where it's like, all things being equal, like people want to do business with their friends, right? All things not being equal, like people still want to do business with their friends. So, those people at the doors, maybe they don't have someone, and now you can be that person. But then to kick it to the next level where there's that relationship, now, they're not even going to think about going with someone else. You would hope, right? So due to building a business around relationships.
So and these relationships that you have, are you constantly nurturing them and pouring into them, or are you sitting back and comfortable that when they decide that they want to sell or buy something, they're just going to reach out to you?
Yeah, it's mainly organic through social media.
Yeah.
Like my ideal clients are social media users, because I love it, because you put it out there and maybe they're interacting with it, maybe they're not, but they're seeing it. So like you talk about like a 33 touch program. Well, social media, like 33 touches, like that's like 2 weeks, maybe three weeks, right? Like it's almost like we're in the information overload age. It's almost bombarding, but however, it's not, because I'm not sending you directly 33 messages or calling you twice a week. And it's like, whoa, buddy. It's kind of, it's more, people look at it when they have time, they interact with it if they like it. So that's the main deal. And sometimes it'll, we'll reach out and connect, but it's not super purposeful. But that's an okay thing, because I'm not sitting down and pumping out 200 messages because I need to. I'm contacting someone because I want to, or we're talking about something that we want to be talking about, if that makes sense.
And Brian,
Sure.
when did that pivot happen, when you were doing the door knocking and the similar lead generation systems, but then you started pivoting into more social media? When did you kind of realize that happened? And when did you also realize that your ideal clients were social media users for you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, great questions. So when I first got into real estate, like, man, it's tough. So I got licensed, like, it was like official, like September the 1st, basically, 2011. Did my first deal in October 2011, got paid for it in, end of November, early December. Didn't sell another home till the spring. And anyways, I ended up joining a team, because it's like, oh man, like I'm either going to have to quit, or something has to give. So it's like, well, at least if I'm giving away money in a split, it's that classic line. It's better to give, let's just say, half away of 10 deals than keep all of 0 deals or whatever. And also mindset's so important in this too, because sometimes agents come into it and they don't join a team because they have a strong mindset. They know they can do it. Me, I wasn't a real estate agent. I didn't know anything. So I did join a team, and I was on the team for a long time. I know the real estate model has been kind of changing a lot, even in the past 9 years, but I got into real estate partly due to some encouragement from a coach who's now retired. His name's Bruce Keith. Amazing guy. But I said to Bruce, like, hey Bruce, like I'm just a young guy. It was a limiting belief. So I'm like, Bruce, I don't know if I can do it, because I'm this young kid. I didn't own a home. I just rented, right? So anyways, he's like, Brian, you're never too young or too old to do anything. It's just people want to work with someone who's going to do a good job, right? So anyways, he was a huge encouragement. Amazing guy. Really grateful for him. And I was on this team. So Bruce Keith, the reason why I bring this up is because Bruce Keith told me, I always relied on him throughout the year. I'd be like, hey Bruce, this is what I did. And he was always excited to hear it. Just to keep him posted. And I think it made him feel special and whatever. But Bruce said, hey Brian, I was on the team, I guess 3 years, but approximately. But he said, Brian, if you've been on the team for 2 years, either one of two things should happen. you should be fired from the team because you suck and they don't want you on the team because you're not doing good, or you should quit the team and do your own thing. And also too, I was at the point where people didn't want the team, they wanted me, like the team that I was on. So my business, you know, it was always slow and steady growth when my first 3 or 4 years. But then when I did my own thing, and I love being my own boss, doing my own thing, it's so amazing. But my business, boom, took off in a huge way. Kind of shocked, really. Like, you know, at one point it was January, and I forget what year, but I was selling homes, and then my team leader at the time, Steve Smith, I just was showing homes. I just bumped into him on the street, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, like you're number 2 in Canada right now." I'm like, "What? Like, what in the world? Like, what's going on?" Because once again, like I said to Mike, it's like I'm just keeping at it. Like, I don't feel like I'm killing myself working hard, just keeping at it. And, you know, it's like, yeah, you're number 2 in Canada right now. So I don't know. That was kind of crazy. But yeah, so we just kind of that's been the progression. So but then at a certain point, it's like, okay, 50 deals for me, at least, that's a nice level. My other real estate buddy, Hank Avink, like, he'll actually encourage people 36 deals. He'll say 36 deals, but there's a lot to unpack, I suppose, behind that. But for me, 50 deals is, you know, I'm happy. You know, it's really effective. I could make changes, and that's the beauty with real estate. I always say, like, it's your own thing. You can create what you want to create, and that's the beauty of it. That's kind of the entrepreneurial part behind it. You can create what you want to create, but this is kind of where I've been at for a few years, and you know, we'll make changes, just like with anything, but that's kind of where we're at for now. And Anna, you said something about what was the last part that you mentioned about maybe social media? Or
I just asked, like, when was the pivot into focusing more into social media, and when realizing that you like clients that are social media users?
Oh yeah, good question. So since before day one, it was social media. I joined my brokerage because of Twitter, like way back when on Twitter. Like, I know Twitter's more of a news source now. Like before, like, you know, Twitter was the cool place to be. Now it's where the news reporters hang out. But I connected with this young, successful agent. His name is Ronald Logan, out of Austin, Texas. He was part of the Bold Pilot Project. Amazing guy. I've fallen out of touch with him. I don't know. He's fallen off of social media now, but very grateful for him. Even in my car here, look, I have this ball, you know, stress ball. Nice. Take out all that real estate stress. But I connected with Ronald Logan on social media. So it's always been social media for me. And actually, when I started my own thing and left that team, I totally dug into social media even more, and video, because 2016, the market was starting to heat up really, really hot. So my photographer at the time, they said, "Brian, a lot of these homes we show up to, and like, they're actually sold before we even get a chance to take pictures of them." So I thought this is a huge opportunity, because when maybe some people were taking a step back, it's like, you know what, I'm going to step it up. So with social media, the perfect fit, in my opinion, is video. So we stepped it up with video in a really big way, and a really exciting way. Everything we do, we want it to be, you know, as exciting as possible. But so we, you know, social media, kicking it up a notch. I guess also beforehand, I never did, like, you know, paid ads, targeted ads. So we were doing that, doing video, and we've just stayed very consistent with it and having a blast with it.
So currently, or even like previously, is social media what you use to meet new people, or was it just more to re-engage and target the people that you already knew and get customers from that? How does that work for your business?
Yeah, like it's basically like my CRM database. It's like, you know, imagine someone said to you, hey, there's this database, and people will actually enter in all the information for you. It's like, oh, what is it? It's like, well, it's Instagram and Facebook, right? Like people will tell you details you don't even want to know. Like, okay, well, that's great, you had tacos, I like tacos, okay, now we're bonding over tacos. But yeah, so I'm connecting with, you know, I'll call them my people. I'm connecting with my people on social media, and also due to my business page, Instagram page, we're connecting with new people. So it's basically probably, well, if I was in my office, it would be cool if I was in my office, because I have like this picture of this big, you know, lion behind me, and with the Sales Beast podcast, you know, that's like your symbol, right? It's the lion. But I'd be able to look up on my board, because I keep track of course, where all my deals come from, but mainly, you know, past clients, referrals. But social media it's probably about 30 to 40% of my new business.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so like, even with COVID, it's like, I never did open houses. Like I would call them even like, you know, stupid open houses. Like, you know what I mean? Like, open houses. I don't like open houses. So yeah, there's a quote I like where it's like, do it with passion or not at all. And open houses are just like, I don't know. I never really enjoyed open houses. Some agents rock them, and that's great, but that's not for me. So anyways, kind of when in this age of COVID, it's like a lot of the things that we do, like not much has really changed besides I call it the scary time when it first hit. That was kind of the biggest impact. But yeah, anyways, any other questions about social media there?
Well, no.
Yeah, I have some. Like, what advice would you give to, like, I'm not huge on social media. I use it, but definitely not at a high level. What advice would you give people out there in terms of what to post, what platform to post, how frequent you should be posting, what type of content to be posting?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I would say, because also too, like I've branded myself the Brian Ellis sales team, and our slogan is only the best for you and your family. So I would say that's kind of the first step, is kind of branding yourself. So when they think, okay, Mike, and then there's like a clear, almost like a mission statement or a slogan. So we love kind of that brand, because then we play off of it. So you know, Brian Ellis sales team, the best acronym. So it's you know, best homes, best clients, best results. There's a whole bunch we can go into if you want about that, about a whole even non-real estate brand that we've built to support the real estate brand, using kind of that branding of the Brian Ellis sales team. So that would probably be my first recommendation, is you want to build that solid kind of brand foundation. And then in addition to that, you're going to want to use a lot of video, and kind of a mix between you personally with your cell phone, but you also definitely need that like exciting, professionally done video. Video is really important, because business is about trust, and communicating with someone via video. I always use the example of Tim Allen, right? Like Last Man Standing. Like if I saw him, I would feel like I know him. He has no clue, obviously, who I am, but thanks to video, you've kind of, you create this bond with them where you like them, you know them, you trust them. I've never met him, he's never met me, but because of video, it's kind of like magic. It's weird. But so video, and also, you know, what to post and when, kind of along with your brand. You have to kind of think like, okay, what do people want to see? What do they care about? It's really interesting in real estate now, because and Ryan Serrant says this. I've recently been watching a lot of his videos. Like sometimes it can get boring and repetitive. 3-bedroom house, 2 bathrooms. This is boring. But you still got to do that kind of stuff, but social media posting, it's sometimes becoming a little bit less about that kind of stuff. And that's an important part of it, because also people love homes. They love looking at homes. That's why HGTV is so popular, and all of those shows, and people love looking at realtor.ca. Like, this is a cool business to be in because people love talking about it. It's not like, life insurance. Hey, Mike and Anna, have you guys thought about dying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's depressing. Or selling appliances. Like, I know I'm 35 now, so I'm in that stage where it's like, hey, we got a new washer and dryer. It's exciting, but I don't know. It's not as like, if you ask someone, like, what is your dream home? Like, now you're like arousing this excitement and this passion, and now they're thinking, it's just so amazing. But you're gonna want to post content that's engaging and fun and just well done. And on frequency, it's don't force it. It has to be somewhat natural, but you don't want to post something just for the sake of posting it. So some days I post nothing. Some days I post nothing for 3 days. Some days I'll post 3 or 4 things in one day. It's kind of more about quality. You do have to stay consistent with it, ideally, but like, there's going to be slow times. Like, I take a lot of time off around Christmas because it's Christmas. It's a slow time. It's a great holiday time, and there's not as much posting, but it depends on your personal brand, really. It's and that's what I love about it. It's totally up to you, what you want to do, what you want to build, who you want to be. That's kind of what it's all about. Like, this is your life. Who do you want to be? Set some goals, make it happen. And real estate's a super cool tool to achieve that, really.
So one really cool thing I want to point out is that you're doing a lot of storytelling. Like, you're doing a lot of telling the story of not only yourself, but also your clients and some of the experiences that you've been in. And I absolutely love that. Just a shout out to your Instagram page. It's Brian Keith Ellis, at Brian Keith Ellis. And we'll make sure that we put that in the comments. So we are running a little bit out of time here, but before I let you go, I want to ask you, first off, what is it about telling the story that keeps you engaged, or even hearing other people's stories as you're going through your own social media?
Mm-hmm. So what is it about other people's stories that keeps me engaged? Yeah.
Why is it that you're telling the story, and why is what for your perspective captivates you on social media?
Mm-hmm. So I don't know, just stories are life. And I guess just us as humans, we're obsessed with stories. Ever since, absolutely obsessed with stories, like, all day long. Like, even as children, we read storybooks. Like, now we watch movies and shows, and even just on social media, like, everything we see is telling a story. So kind of just along, my journey, I've always tried to learn about certain things. Like, if someone's looking to learn about something right now, it's like, how about storytelling? That's kind of the be all end all of life. Everyone just loves it.
Awesome.
Does that answer your question? Is that where you're getting
no,
at?
I like that. And one other thing we ask every single one of our guests is, who do you know that we should have on this podcast?
Yeah. I was rewatching some of yours, and I heard you say that you always ask that question, so I prepared. And Hank Avink, he's a great guy. I think he's a top-notch person. And then, even just as I was sitting in my car before our chat here, my friend Barb Best in Toronto, amazing realtor. I just connected with her because her last name was Best, but she's an amazing person, and she'd be a great person to have on your show. Very successful Toronto agent in the beaches, and amazing person.
Awesome. Any last words or anything that you want to add? We really appreciate getting to know you further and hearing more about your story.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to connect with anyone watching this. Instagram, like Anna said, at Brian Keith Ellis is the best way to get a hold of me. And looking forward to maybe connecting with some more people. And if there's anything I can do to help you or encourage you, send me a message.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Nice meeting you.
Bye. Bye.
Yeah.